Yo, what's up, everybody? We back live again. Hope everybody's doing well. Man, today was kind of a weird day, kind of hot, but we're hanging in there right here. But let's see, we're gonna be getting into this right now with the scale model events that we got coming up. Let's see. Let me switch the screen right here, guys. Make sure I'm all situated with you guys right here. Bam. All right, cool. Man, it's been hot, super hot. Let's see here. Make some room. I also made some changes here to the space, to the studio. I mean, it's the garage, but I like calling it the studio, And let's see if we can zoom in, zoom out. Yeah, so I have my, right next to me, my bench. Well, I got two of them right now. This is the one where I work on my models, and then I got the other one next to me where I spray the, airbrush all the cars and stuff. Right here is one of my cameras. I'm going to go ahead and change the angle so you guys could see kind of what I'm talking about right here. I wanted to show you guys this. Boom, look at that right there. So here we have the booth right here. Here, let me move this mic. So we got the booth right over here. Don't mind the green screen. It's not lit up or anything, but pretty much two lights, the internal light in there, and then I'll have the upper light bar right here as well. So this is something I kind of been, wanting to kind of put together. As far as, this was all the way back to the wall. That's where I was doing most of the painting, but I was like, you know what? I need to make this a little bit easier. I need to pull this more towards me. This way I could adjust the camera, put it in a better position. So this way it's not in the booth and getting compromised or anything like that with paint. I have been thinking about putting like some type of like plastic material over the camera, just so this way if there's any kind of overspray or whatever, it won't really like mess it up, The last time I had the camera like inside at the bottom of the booth, and man, it was like when I was done spraying, I went ahead and removed that piece of plastic, and there was overspray on that. And I was like, damn, that sucks. Like, it could have been the camera. Next thing you know, I'm over here wiping the screen with like lacquer thinner and like, start messing that up right there. So I have to play it safe. These cameras are a bit pricey. Right now I'm rocking with that one. It's 3 cameras. I got my my Elgato camera, which is the one that's facing me. And then I got an OBSBot right on top, showing all this right here. And then the third one, the third angle, that's like the first camera that I was using for, like as far as a webcam. It's a Logitech. There's a new one that's out that's way better than this one. So that's pretty much what I want to get. But hey, what's up, guys? Let's see. We got Freddie Soto in the house. We also got Slowly Models. What's up? What's up? Bam, you hear him? He's out there, bro. Yeah, it's hot, man. It's a hot day. You know them. They love the heat. So there's nothing I can really do about it right now. Man, I've been smashing some water. I have this this glass cup right here. I don't know if you can see it. This is drawing by Mr. Cartoon. It's actually a beer mug, Modelo, right there. Damn, right there. But man, I'm drinking some water, man. I'm dehydrated and hot right now. Here, I'm gonna get some water real quick. I need to pour some before we get started. Right now, just kind of hanging out, Let's see here. I wasn't even sure if I was gonna jump on live because we just been busy, and then at the same time, my daughter's been kind of under the weather. She's been like getting her fevers coming and going, and we're over here like helping her on and stuff, trying to make sure she's all good. So yesterday there was just like no way I was gonna be able to jump on, and then today I was like, you know what? I've been meaning to do this live regarding the upcoming events, and I kind of been sleeping on it. I was like, I better get it now and do it because there is an event this Saturday happening, and I wanted to go ahead and start promoting, kind of giving guys a heads up. I've kind of mentioned it already, but I want to just kind of remind everybody, and at the same time kind of line up some of the other shows that we got coming up as well. Some here in well, that one's in California, but then there's going to be also other ones in other places out there. So let's see. What up, Paint Maverick? What up? What up? Thank you for joining us, bro, right here. Man, we're live and direct with El Chapulín. So, man, all right. Let's just get started right here. So, we're going to pull up the image right here. Armando, what's up? Thank you for joining us right here. I might have to just turn down my dB. Maybe I could like flush out the background noise, but you might not be able to hear me or whatever. But anyway, let's see here, guys. So we got, bam, this first event right here. So this is going down this Saturday. It's kind of rare for a show to be on a Saturday. For the most part, most shows are on a Sunday, most shows Sundays, but this is kind of cool. I do like the fact when they do bring up a Saturday show, because you do got Sunday to rest, Sunday to still kind of chill out, kind of process everything that you did, and then be able to, settle in and get ready for the next day, which is, most people work on Mondays right there. Styrene Live 505, what's up, man? Thank you for joining us right here. So let's start this off. This is the 2025 Hollister NNL Model Car Show. And, on there in yellow, as you can see, it has date changed. I believe this is the official date because this is the date they've been promoting as of lately. And this is the Saturday, September 20th, 2025. This is associated with the Hollister Elks Cruise and Car Show. The show is from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Themes, Mustangs. There's also going to be a Modelers Pick Awards, Youth, Adult theme, and Elks Exalted Ruler Pick. What? Within 45 minutes of the Monterey and Silicon Valley. To enter, it's $15 per modeler. So right there, I'm assuming, every modeler who's there, $20, and just bring all your models, bring all your stuff right there. That'll be dope. Steven Kessel, what's up, man? What up? Thank you for joining us. And also, it's a Saturday. I don't know if it might be too late or not regarding like the vendor. I do see they offer vendor tables at $20. That's a really good price right there. There's also, let's see, each pre-registered 30-day of show. Contact Kurt. I think it's Bates. You got the email right there for more info on table rentals. So yeah, it's pretty much a lot of that has to do with the vendor stuff. The address there to that location is 351 Astro Drive, Hollister, California, 95023. I know Auto Modeler is set to be out there. I did see they've been promoting the show that they're going to be out there in that area. Last year they did cover the event as well, so they had a lot of fun with that. They did post a lot of that footage on their current issue of Auto Modeler, and they've been promoting that pretty hard, that they're going to be out there. And also shout outs to Paul, Left Coast Model Car Builds. He's also someone who's going to be out there as well in attendance. He's also been promoting the show, spreading the word. And he's was on the podcast not too long ago, and I was like, man, I got to spread word. I've never been to this show. I hopefully in the future I can go. Unfortunately I cannot make it. There's just a lot going on, especially, like I just mentioned, like my daughter's like up and down with like fevers right now this week. The weather's been kind of whack out here. And even today it was weird. They were like, oh, it's going to rain. And then I was like, what? But then all of a sudden it kind of rained a little, but it was just like, I don't know, really humid, But Saturday, aside, from all that, there's also a family event too that I'm attending as well. We're gonna go there for a little bit, say what's up, give our cousin the birthday present, give some hugs, and then we got to take off. But if you guys are in this area or near, please go to the show if you can make it. I know this is more closer to like Northern California, up north. I did map it out just to see like how far it'd be in distance, and it's about, I believe it's like 4 hours from where I'm at, just going up the 5 freeway. If I wasn't doing anything, if I was like just chilling and I didn't have any family responsibilities or anything like that, definitely I'd be out there. I'd be like busting a mission, getting up 3, 4 in the morning and just jetting out, in order to make it there before the 9 a.m. Check out the event and then just come back home, late that night. So that would have been cool. Well, not that late. I mean, if it ends at 3, let's say you kick it an extra hour after, get something to eat, whatever, head back, probably be getting home by 8 or 9 p.m. That'd be pretty dope. Ideally that's what I would envision if I would be like heading out there. But I am going to keep my eye on this event. This event has been going on for a pretty long time, and they're going to continue it going strong. There's not so many events in Northern California, so I do feel like when there is a show out there in the area, there's definitely a lot of people that show up from those areas up north that are like, we got to hold it down, we got to represent, we got to bring our models and everything, so that's always a cool one right there. Let's see here. I need to upload the next flyer, the next event that will be outside of California. But let me grab this water bottle. I'll be back real quick, guys. Hang on real quick. Let me just chill out for a little moment. All right, dudes, I'm back. Let's see here. Let's switch it up. I had to turn into Tony Montana right now, real quick. If you guys can envision that. All right, cool. All right, so check it out. Second annual Hawaii Scale Model Expo, Saturday, October 4th, 2025. This is Neil. What is that? Blaisdell Center. Pikake Room, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. So, man, this is in Hawaii, guys. Think about that. Imagine this is like a perfect excuse to go to Hawaii. Bring the family. This is like perfect right here. So, man, Hawaii. When was the last time I went to Hawaii? I've been to Hawaii one time, and this was to the island of Oahu. And I happened to be out there to attend a wedding, and I mean, it was dope going out there, checking all that out, that area, I didn't really go too much into like the like city, it was more, I don't know what you call it. Like obviously the beach is right there, right? It's like you're surrounded by it, but more like mountains and stuff like that, like, or the hills, it was pretty cool, seeing all that right there. More of the natural nature of the area, right? But to be able to go to a show, out there, low key, chill vibes, bring the family and everything. And then from there, be able to like explore and do some stuff. That sounds pretty awesome. I feel like this is something I also need to keep an eye on as well to attend in the future. So This show right here, this is put together by the homie Greg. Model Cars Magazine. He's also based off of Hawaii. This is an event that he's putting on together. This is the second annual one. He did one last year, so he's being back doing this one right here. And, you know, I want to show him some love and some support. You know, a lot of these guys have supported me throughout the years, you know, spreading word for my website, my online store and stuff. And I mean, I'm very appreciative of all that. But at the same time, you know, I'm like, yo, like, I gotta, you know, show them some love too and spread word. But at the same time, it's also like just to keep everybody informed as to like what's coming up, you know, because this always happens. We always get the messages where people go like, oh man, you know, I didn't know, or where can I know? When's the next one? When's the next one? You know? And what ends up happening is, you know, sometimes it takes a long time for be a next one, or you got to wait till the next year. And it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of long, you know, and I always feel bad. I don't want people like missing on that kind of stuff. But let's see. Let's get right into the info right here, guys. Let's see what they tell us right here. As far as info, scale model cars, airplanes, tanks, ships, figures, sci-fi models, Gundam mecha models. Damn, this is like up my alley right here. You know, I'd for sure bring model cars because that's what I got. Sci-fi, I'm not there yet with the sci-fi, but I do got some Gundams / mecha figures that I could bring. But I wonder if those, like the Krieger figures, I wonder if those would fit more in the sci-fi section of things, you know, or mecha, you know, could be that. Let's see, $5 general admission. That's not bad at all. Children under 12 are free. The entry fees is 10 per, let's see, entrant. So unlimited amount of models. Wow. So, you know, you go out there, you want to enter, all it's going to cost you is $10, and you can bring as many models as you want right there. Let's see. Then they have a scale model and diecast swap meet, 8-inch vendor tables, $20, and then 25. Dude, that's such a deal. That's so nice of them. Those are like very low prices for a vendor. You know, anybody who has stuff in the stash, in the collection that, like, you know, you've been having it for more than 10, 20 years, and you're like, man, this is taking up space. I was supposed to build this, but you know what? I don't think I'm ever going to build this. Maybe it's just time to pass it on, you know, or just sell it. Maybe I want to get my money back, you know. Perfect. Bring it to the show. The same with diecast, you know, we all collect diecast and various things, and there's always a moment where, you know, we decide we want to get something else, our interests change, or we want to get rid of like 5 things to get the one holy grail piece that costs a lot more money. You know, it could be various things, but right there at that event, especially if you're local right there in the area, that's always like a good kind of show to check out right there, that you could just like drive up, pull up, bring your stuff, you know, unload. That'd be pretty cool right there. Let's see. And let me read some of the small print right here. We got People's Choice Awards will be presented for Best in Show, Best Junior, and Top 3 models for model cars, military, planes, ships, tanks, figures, sci-fi, and Gundam, mecha, advanced, and junior right there. Presented by the Hawaiian Islands Model Car Club, sponsors by Model Cars Magazine, the Hobby Company, Wellers, Hobbycraft, and let's see, that says Habitat. Dang. Let's see, HawaiiModelCarsShow.com, and you can hit up Greg right there, Greg at ModelCarsMag.com, if you guys have any questions. And, you know, real quick, talking about Model Cars Mag, I did notice that Jason, Blue Ox Models, he posted a photo on his Facebook page. He already received his latest issue of Model Cars Mag. I was like, oh, what? It's out? Dang. And he already had the printed copy right in front of him. So he must have just got that in the mail, you know? And I was like, damn, that's dope. So I should be getting those issues pretty soon. I'm going to, you know, I've always been carrying the magazine. Man, I think it's already been more than a year. And you know, I feel like back then when I would get the magazines, I never previewed them like that, like online, right? I wasn't streaming or anything like that. Once in a while, I'll get a magazine. I do a video on it and stuff, you know, flip through pages. But like, I feel like I think it would be kind of cool to actually flip through one of them. Maybe this could be, you know, not too long ago, I did an old issue from like the 2000s, right? But for an updated 2025 issue, I think it would be pretty dope if we do it here with all you guys, you know? But man, think about that. Like the issue that I had done the other day, that was in like 2001. And shout outs to Dennis. Dennis Matthews was the one who hooked me up with that. When I recorded that, I couldn't remember who gave me that. And, you know, Dennis, he watched the video. He texted me later. He's like, hey, man, that was me. And I was like, oh, dude, you're right. I remember now. So shout outs to Dennis Matthews. He gave me that magazine a long time ago, and I just preserved it, put it away. And then, you know, I was like, all right, let me start flipping through these pages, you know. So that's another issue that's coming out, which is awesome right there. So shout outs to Greg and everybody in that team that puts together the magazine. You know, it's always nice to see these like tangible things that we could hold in our hands, flip through pages. You know, I know a lot of people, a lot of young people don't really care for that stuff, you know, because it's not like they grew up on that kind of stuff, you know, kind of the same like our parents grew up on like, you know, newspapers and things like that. And then we also got a piece of that, you know, looking at newspapers, keeping clippings and keeping things, you know, and leading into magazines. And obviously now a lot of stuff's digital or it's just not in print at all, you know, but whenever we do get our hands on something, we definitely want to collect it and hold on to it for the future. So let's go right ahead and move on to the next event right here. This one, let's see here. This is David Detail Junkies event, the Texas Scale Expo, going down October 18th, 2025. This is in Denton, Texas. Model car contest, RC lowrider cruise, lowrider bicycles, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's free admission. And then let's see. So this event here, let me see. It says Rubber Gloves Rehearsal Studios. Not too long ago, I did watch a video of David, and let's see here, and also George. George had linked up with David. If you go to George's YouTube channel, he does have a video on this. On the description of this video, when I end it, I'm gonna get that link and I'm gonna put it in the description, so this way you guys can check it out. And they pretty much kick it, and they pretty much go through the venue, like showcasing like how the venue is gonna look like and everything. I thought that was pretty cool. It was like a very behind the scenes kind of thing. That was super awesome right there. I was like, oh man, like definitely I like seeing that kind of stuff because it does motivate you to come out. Look, I'm gonna pull out my phone real quick because check it out. As you see the flyer, this is kind of just the general information. It's more like save the date kind of vibe. And on their website, let's see, Texas Scale Model Expo. I'm gonna get some more info right here for you guys to check out, because I know you guys are gonna want to go to something like this, especially for all the homies that are out there in Texas. This flyer, I grabbed it from their website, but I do. All right, so I know I'm going to get this question a lot. I'll probably get some comments later asking, where's this going down? Where's this happening? So Rubber Gloves Rehearsal Studios, that is the venue, the location in Denton, Texas. So I'm sure if you look that up, bam, it's going to come up. But I'm still going to go ahead and give you guys the address. I have it right here, right in front of me. I'm checking this through my phone, though. So this is 411 East Sycamore Street in Denton, Texas, 76205. So that is the location. As far as information regarding entering the contest, it's $30 contest registration, unlimited models, kids free for spectators. So keep that in mind right there. Let's see what else we got here with the news. I know if you go to to their website, dfwplasticsociety.com. You'll be able to get more info. But also, they've been promoting a lot the event that's going to be taking down in there. So let me go ahead and read the theme awards here. So we have for models, there's going to be Best in Show, Top 10 Builds, Best Mopar, and then in parentheses they put Rick Mariano Memorial, Best Impala, and in parentheses it says J Moses Memorial. The next one is Furthest Traveled, Best Y2K Era Import, Best 90s Lowrider Import, Best Nissan Silvia, Best 59 El Camino, Best Hot Wheels Custom, Best Diorama, Best 1/10 Diorama Building. What? Damn. Best Gundam / Mecha Build. Look at that. We got another one right there. Yeah, showing some love right there for the Gundam and Mecha. Now this is the RC categories. So we got Best Painter, RC Lowrider, Best Dancer, RC Lowrider, Best Hopper, RC Lowrider, Best RC Lowrider. Dope. Now, the last section right here. This is the Lowrider bicycle category. Okay, guys? So we got Best Overall Lowrider Bike, Best Paint and Finish, Best Chrome and Detail, Best Custom Frame or Mods, Best Theme or Display. Right there. So those three are going to be the theme awards. So you got a huge category for models. You got a huge category for RC and a huge one for lowrider bicycle right there. So that right there is like tying in, the best of all those worlds together. If you look at and you think about, like back then, the lowrider bicycle magazines that were coming out, for a lot of people, those are like the holy grail. It's like the Bible, it's something special that a lot of us hold to our dear hearts. There's obviously something there that has made an effect on a lot of people, but when you look at that magazine, you start to wonder, like, okay, it's lowrider bicycles, it's also model cars, and then they always gave you a little taste, a section of the art, right? People would be submitting artwork, and later on they decided to create another magazine that was just dedicated just to the art, right? Lowrider Arte. And you had Lowrider Magazine, Lowrider Bicycle Magazine, and Lowrider Arte. You had the three, And a lot of times what was happening is you had Lowrider Magazine, that right there was more like parents, grandparents, like adults that were building their lowriders, maybe even, 17, 18-year-olds and up, right? As far as lowrider bicycles, that's where a lot of people got started also. As little kids, you're probably in elementary or junior high or high school, and this is like the closest thing you could get to the lowrider cars. So you start to create your bike, and at the same time, for those that didn't have access to the car, didn't have access to the bikes, then we have the model cars, and that was the closest thing we would get to building a lowrider or showcasing stuff, being inspired. And aside from that, then you had people that would draw, and like, they would just express themselves. They would see a car and be like, I'm going to draw out this scene. I'm going to do this. So it was cool. Yo, Paint Maverick, later on, man. Thank you for joining us for a little bit right here. Hope you have a good night, man. We'll talk soon. All right, peace. And so you had all these different things kind of going down, and it's like when I'm looking at this flyer, I feel like David has really like put everything together, curated everything together really good, because right now in 2025, a lot of things are happening. A lot of things that feel like if they were ever phased out or whatever, I don't feel like they really were there. They just went a little bit more underground, but now they're out there. They're making this huge noise, a big mark. You know, it's being cemented now in the history and everything, right? So much stuff is going down. So, you know, model cars still live on, and they're always going to live on. They're not going to die out. They're going to continue going. You know, it's not going to end. Look at the RCs, you know, this whole big boom with lowrider RCs. I mean, it's just the beginning, you know, even though it's been like maybe a couple or a few years, but it's still just the beginning, you know. In 5-10 years, try to think about that, what level it's going to be at then. And the same with the lowrider bicycles. They're still going hard on those. Those are still, people are still doing them and stuff. People are still, you know, finding Schwinn's and other types of bikes. They're, you know, they're fabricating them. They're doing so much stuff. So it's going to be nice to see all the different styles of things going down. But as far as the model cars though, that list, watch, let me go back. Let me get my phone. That list, man, there's a lot of cool categories in that list. Like the best in show, top 10, and then best Mopar, best Impala, for this travel, best Y2K era, 90s lowrider import, Nissan Silvia, El Camino. It's like there's all these things that, you know, you could say, you know what, I'm currently working on an Impala, so let me go hard. You know, I know it's like weeks away. We're not too far, but still, if you were like in the middle of it, or maybe ahead of time you were already aiming for that, it's coming up, you know, and you could throw down right there and have your Impala be showcased right there. So let me see. Let me take another sip of this. Man, it's getting hot, bro, in here. All right, let's see. Let's check it out. What do we got here? I'm going to pull up the next flyer, guys. Yeah, there's a lot of shows in different spots in this month of October. So in this next one, here we have it, guys. This is the 3rd annual North Coast Automotive Modelers Presents Plastic Undercover 2025. Shout outs to the homie Jeff right here. Copley Scale Auto. What up, man? Yep. Let's see. That's the homie right there. Him and his friends, like people in the organization, are the ones that are putting this one together. This is a non-competitive NNL type model car show and swap meet taking place Saturday, October 11, 2025, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Copley High School Auxiliary Gym, 3807 Ridgewood Road, Copley, Ohio, 44321. The admission is $5. 12 and under are free. That's pretty cool, man. $5. Come on, that's like such a nice price right there. Let's see. Imagine going to a show and they're like $50. You're like, dang. Yeah, $5, guys. You know, not that bad. That's really good. That's almost free. That's pretty much free, right there. Let's see. We have new for 2025. Trot on over to the Plastic Undercover Facebook. NCAM presents Plastic Undercover for a special theme category announcement on April 1st, 2025. Let's see. So here we have dioramas limited to 20 by 20. Special best of trophies awarded by Host Club. Photographer on site offering a chance for your build to appear in Model Cars Magazine, Auto Modeler Magazine, and Fine Scale Modeler Contest Cars 2026. Man, that's dope. That's dope. A big applause for all the magazines out there that are, like I said, holding it down, still printing a tangible thing right there. That's awesome. All right, let's see. Raffle drawings throughout the day. On-site concessions available. So you know what that means. You know, it's going to be some food right there. You want to take a break. You want to just chill, lay back. You know, I was going to try to lay back, but no, I don't want to fall back. And, you know, whatever. That way you don't have to drive out. You know, I like how when people do the events and they keep it all in-house. That's what's up. I like that. So if you guys want to fly out there, go out there to that area to check out this event. Or maybe you are from this area right here. Please let me know. We have the Host Hotel, Akron, Fairfield Inn and Suites. Their address is right there on the flyer, 208 Springside Drive, Akron. Hopefully I'm saying it right. Yo, Steve, Stoke Steve, what's up, man? Thank you for joining us. I just saw your name pop up right there. What up? All right, it says Ohio, 443223. And then you got the number right there. Let's see what else. So I guess, man, they're holding it down right there with the hotel. That's cool. We got the like special price. We also have, okay, the bottom. Damn, it's always the info right there for the vendors, you know. So if it's not too late. I don't think it's not too late. So you might want to hit them up in case if you guys want to see what's up. Let's see, JC Lloyd Armato Bills. What's up, man? What up? Let's see. Let me read your comment here on the chat. You say, I need to start on the interior of my Cutlass. Thought about doing straight satin or matte beige for the classic peanut butter jelly look, but keep seeing tuck and roll and biscuit tuck with foam. Ooh, what do you think about doing? You know, JC, what I was gonna mention is let me see. There is I don't know if they still sell it, but I remember a long time ago Jeffries had made a file for 120, I think it was 125th scale, that you can buy, I believe, in 3dcolts.com. If you go online and go on 3dcolts.com, maybe look up like, I don't know, biscuit tuck and then put Jeffries and see what comes up. Hopefully it's still there. And if so, a long time ago, I ended up making this purchase through that site, and they mailed me 3D printed the biscuit tuck and also the I believe the tuck and roll. And from there I was able to glue like a piece of wood on the back of it, and I would just heat up the foam, and then you just like compress it, and you would get like a piece of it right there. This was like a while back, you know. This is before the 3D printing craze, you know, before people were like flexing like, bam, look, I got 10 of these in my right here in my pad, you know. So that was kind of one of the sources where I remember getting them from. But yeah, oh, there you go. Let's see. Slowly Model says Daft Wheels might have done a biscuit tuck press plate too. Oh, there you go. So yeah, I don't know if they're still out there. I'm pretty sure, dude, they have to be. I don't see why they would be like, all right, it's been years now, let's take them down. So let's pull up this other this is part of the same event here. This is just some more info right here. So Plastic Undercover 2025 build theme, boxy icons, American two-door off-roaders, forefathers of the modern SUV pre-2000s, Wrangler, Blazer, Scout, Ram Charger, Bronco, Jimmy, Commando. Damn, I was about to like go like that, but we got the Golden Hawk, Baja Bronco, International Scout, and also the Stranger Things. That's pretty cool. You got a lot of variety right there. Let's see here. What does it say here? It says trophy. Here, let me zoom in more on my end. Sorry, guys. Trophy awarded to the most unique builds decided in North Coast Automotive Modelers. All right, cool. And back up. All right, cool. So that's some info right there. Let's see. JC, trying to read what you guys are saying right here for those that are listening or watching. All right, cool. So you're gonna probably check that out. Yeah, hopefully that helps, bro. Hopefully that helps. You know, right there. I know Tingos had mentioned he does it by hand, you know, each piece right there. But that's also a lot of experience right there, you know, a lot of knowledge. You know, I think for anybody just getting into it, you know, you could try it as well. You know, it doesn't hurt to try. But if you're kind of in a rush or kind of in a pinch of time, then, you know, the plates are going to probably be the best option for you to do. Let's see. Let me pull up the next flyer right here. This one's going down in October. Check it out, guys. This is the one that I'm going to be at right here. Where do you got the watch? Armando's going to be here. We got the homie Luis. Juana Mess was coming out. And then we also got Stoke Steve Steve's rolling out right here too. Hopefully Gary Seeds comes out, and a lot of other people. I'm trying to like spread word. I know the homie Dennis Matthews is coming out. Vision 124 is coming out. And I believe Pete from Scale World will also be there. So I'm hoping a lot of people from the East Coast and Florida, different places, come out to this event, because I would love to meet you guys. This is going to be the one that I'm very looking forward to. I'm not going to be vending, nothing like that. I'm keeping it super low key. I'm just pretty much bringing myself, my phone, maybe a couple little mics to clip on and record clips, and a couple models or so to set up and participate. And I just want to document and hang out. And I'm gonna try to do some little interviews with people, you know, and just, I don't know, just experience the whole thing, right? So let's see here. Let me read this off. So this is the I was about to say 1,000 years, but 100 years of Mopar. Mopar and drag racing, Southern Nationals 2025. So here's another thing I'm very excited about, because look, I've already told you guys, and I'm being honest right here. You know, I know Mopar's been around for a long time and everything, and I used to always hear people, you know, if it's not Mopar, it's no car, all these things, right? And I went to school with dudes in high school who had like Mopar cars and this and that, but they wouldn't really say that. Like, they wouldn't really talk about it like that. You know, they were just into their cars and stuff. But I really never like paid attention to it too much, you know? To me, it was just like, all right, muscle cars, you know, this and that. But I really wasn't like my thing was more like the lowriders. I was more like, all right, that's like the stuff I'm into, right? And as I started to learn, like, you know, through Armando, like about custom painting, then my interests started to change. I started getting into like custom builds, right? So now I'm looking at cars from the 50s. I'm seeing what they're doing to shoe boxes. I'm learning all these things, and I'm like, dang, that's crazy. I really didn't pay attention to that either. You know, I didn't see any custom cars cruising in my neighborhood at all. You know, it was, you would see a lowrider here and there, right? A stock one or a lowrider, right? So then as time has progressed, you know, my attention span starts going towards JDM. Start looking into all that, and then seeing all the different genres and craziness and everything about JDM stuff, right? So I'm looking at it. It's kind of like a clock or like a circle, right? And as I'm going, next, you know, I'm paying attention to a lot of the like the funny cars and like the paint jobs, and then stories of Gary Seed saying like the cars he would see in Pomona here in California, with all these cars with flake, jumbo flake, and all these flames and things, right? Like gassers and all this stuff. So I was like, you know? And then little by little, the more I started putting it all together, you know, a lot of people were just kind of saying like how a lot of these paint jobs and stuff like that come inspired from a lot of American muscle cars and drag racing and stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. So all this stuff starts to click. It's almost like I'm trying to find the origins. I'm on a mission trying to find the origins of where all this kind of started, or who inspired who, right? All right. Oh, hold on. We got Jerome Andrews. What's up, man? You know, I saw your name right now, bro. Thank you for joining us and being right here. Let's see. You say, thanks for plugging the Plastic Undercover Show. Proud NCAM member since 98. Dang, that's dope, man. Oh man, my pleasure, bro. My pleasure. So yeah, so you know, with this event coming up, I was like hyped, right? And you know, other recordings I've mentioned about the artist Tuki, who does his paint jobs, and there's just some amazing, beautiful cars that he recently painted. He was just on the Hot Rod magazine. I just got my hands on that magazine, flipping through the pages, reading it. It's like, it just blows my mind every time I see that. I'm starting to follow all these pages on Facebook too, and so many pictures and stuff. I'm just downloading lots of data, dude. I'm just like blown away right now. And then I'm like, all right, well, I got the show coming up. I know I'm working on my Corvair, and everything else is just kind of on standby, on chill mode. And then I thought to myself, man, what if I started working on something else? Like, what would it be? like right now, right? So then I want to show you guys this real quick, and then we'll come back to the thing. So then I thought, oh, maybe this will be the one, right? Why not? Because I'm still new to that genre, you know? I'm not trying to prove anything like, yo, dog, like I know about this stuff, been around the block, dog. Nah. I don't know nothing, like nothing. I'm still a novice. I'm still learning, you know? Being honest with you guys right here. And it's all good. I mean, this kit looks super friendly. It's not intimidating, you know? Because check out all the parts. Interior tub. You got the engine right there. And look at all this. For the bottom chassis right here. For the seats. Then you got the body. And then I started looking at the body and I'm like, damn, this body's huge. Like, this is a nice body. It's just big. And I was like, all right, cool. I think I could make this work, you know? The thing is, it's like, I'm not trying to, like I said, I'm new to this. I'm not trying to prove anything. I'm trying to focus more on the paint job, right? I wish I could get my hands on some big fat rear wheels, but I'm just going to use the wheels it came with, you know? It is what it is. I'm still new to this genre. Later, I'll figure it out. Later, I'll be like, oh man, you know, the one thing that I probably won't do is I probably will not glue the bottom belly or chassis or whatever to the model. A lot of the times I don't glue it. I always kind of like attach it and it's already tight where later I could always go and take it apart in case if something happens and I'm like, ooh, I want to reuse the body and we could probably use something else. Maybe I need to modify this. Maybe I'll get the fat wheels later in the future. You know, maybe I'll figure it out later, you know, but anyway, you know, that's kind of what's been going through my mind. And I'm already thinking like, you know what? I'm going to primer this gray just to fix the whatever imperfections, like little tiny things. I'm not going to shave off a lot of the stuff. I'm going to try to keep everything there. And then once I know, okay, cool. I think the body's like clean, like, all right, thumbs up. Then I'll come back and I'll primer it white and then just shoot it with a white base. And then I want to use a white base foundation. And then from there, I want to add graphics over it, with it. I do have purple. I could have been like, oh, I could just build it all purple, right? Yeah, that's cool. I could do that, but I kind of want to experiment with some colors. So I think that's what's going to probably end up happening in between this one and my Corvair right there. But I just wanted to throw this in here as a side note right here. And you know, I'm pretty sure I could knock this one out and bring it over to the thing. So I'm kind of putting myself on the spot right there for that. But you know, there's not a lot of parts, you know, I'm not going to be doing no engine wiring, nothing like that. It's just stock. Let's just focus on the paint job. Let's get it going. I feel very inspired and we'll go from there, you know? So, yeah, this should be a fun kit right here. Bam, right there. Yeah, I was staring at it earlier in the day when I was in here. I was like, dude, I gotta build this one. I think this is going to be the one. All right, here we go. We're back. Let's see. But you know, as I go on later, I'll start getting deeper into it, like more and more and more. And then I'll start to understand the lingo and everything and be like, all right, cool. You know? And then later I want to do a lowrider. Like I'll just come back full circle and just try to do a little bit of everything, you know? Let's see here. Let me check the chat room real quick. Slowly Model says, Mopar super fans are like the rotary fans in JDM car scenes. Oh, what? Let's see. Stoke Steve, can't wait for Acme. I am building a 65 Plymouth Satellite Super Stock. Awesome, man. For my uncle, I will be entering for the show theme. Oh, that's nice of you, man. Doing that one there for your uncle. Slowly Models also comments, Z-Force has some chunky tires, wheels for that style. I need to check them out. I believe my my homie Shane, I think he cops stuff from him. I think he's told me about him. And also I think Dennis Matthews too. So I need to check that out right there. JC says maybe get a drag kit for the big rear wheels. Oh, nice. That's a good tip right there. JC also mentions, man, the HOK purple you just got would look nice with some black pearl Racing stripes. Ooh, right. That's nah, man. That's tempting now. Now you're throwing some ideas my way. Let's see. Slowly Model says DM'd you a couple of links. All right, I'll check those out later. Slowly, thank you. I'll check them out on the DM later. Right there. But yeah, there's just a lot of options, right? But the paint job is gonna be the main like focus. Whatever, you know, it's gonna just be obviously stock stance or whatever. I'm not trying to cut no doors open or do anything crazy that's just gonna push the whole thing back. You know, I'm just trying to get in there, learn what I can, focus on the paint, get it done, get it cleared, ready. All right, and let's see. So the show's going down October 25th, 2025, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Clarence Brown's Conference Center, Cartersville, Georgia. Clarence Brown Convention Center, 5450. What is this? State Route 20. Let me zoom in now again on my end. Sorry, guys. Cartersville, Georgia, 30121. The host hotel is the Marriott Courtyard, Cartersville. Yeah, I'm going to be staying like down the street from this spot out there. And yeah, this place was pretty booked. I looked up the dates for when I'm landing. I'm showing up on Friday, getting there Friday. So I'll be there, you know, like midday to enjoy the rest of the day, the night. You know, this is all new to me. You know, I hear that people get together the night before, hang out and all. You know, I want to check it out, see what's up. I know a lot of other friends that go, they know what's up. So I'm just going to be chilling and see what they tell me, like, yo, let's go over here. All right, cool. Let's go. So we're going to see what's up with that. And then the show itself would be the next day, the Saturday. So try to get up early that day, check out the event, you know. I know it's going to be a blur. I know it's going to go by fast. I'm going to try my best to capture, hang out, and do all these things, you know, kicking it with everybody. Steve Courtney, what's up, man? What up? Oh, dude. Yeah, I wish you could go too, man. That would have been dope. But hey, man, in the future, you know, maybe there will be a show where we'll be able to link up. You know, if it's not Acme, it might be another one, you know. Let's see. So I'll be there that night, and then bam, the next day, Sunday, coming back home, you know. So I'll be at home probably like, I don't know, I think I'll be touching down like 9 or 10 in the morning here. So maybe by noontime, I'll be in my house. Hey, maybe I'll be here live. Maybe I'll jump on live like, yo, I'm back. That'd be a trip. Imagine I'm like live going to the airport, and then I don't know if the plane would have Wi-Fi, but that'd be weird. Like still being live on the plane, all sleeping, and then bringing it here. Bam, bam, right here. Scott, what up? Let's see. Scott comments here. He says, do the Kuda Bozozoku style. Oh, what? And then I'm doing a 68 cornet. Oh, Bozo style. Hey, that's dope, man. Get creative right there. That's pretty cool. That would be a trip though, right? Switch it up right there. Let's see, guys. Let's see, one more flyer, another show itself. But hey, man, my respects, you know, for that scene right there. I have been geeking out on watching a lot of the drag racers and Mopar cars like racing on the track on YouTube. I can't remember the name, but there's a couple people I've been following that interview a lot of the drivers, you know, and those are like channels that are growing right there, independent people that are just like going out there. And I'm going, man, this dude's lucky. He has access to go behind the track and in the pits and be able to record and talk with people, you know, and get really close to these races when people are taking off. So I thought that was pretty dope. Let's see the next flyer. This next one's going down in November. This one here is going to be one that's going to be in my area right here. I will be at this one as well and vending at this one as well. But man, it's funny when I say I'm vending. I sound all bummed out, like, dang, like it's a chore. I'm probably going to go out there with one of my homies. I'm going to reach out to one of my homies if he can help me vend. The reason being is, you know, vending's cool and stuff because, you know, you bring out products, and a lot of the times you bring stuff that people are looking for, and it's always nice to interact with your customers and friends and stuff and people ask questions. What does this do? Or what do you recommend for this? Or I'm having this issue. And it's always cool, you know, meeting people and also like promoting your business, promoting the brand. And, you know, it feels good when you have something that someone's been looking for, right? But at the same time, it does kind of take away from the show, you know? It takes away from being able to walk around, say what's up to friends, and photograph models and also record models, right? To be able to document what's going down to later present it to you guys in a video. You know, that's where it's like, damn, like, because you're behind your booth and sometimes you get busy, or even if you're not even busy, but you're behind your booth that you can't even like step away to go to the restroom or eat. You know, sometimes we forget to eat. We're just like there. So a lot of times when I have friends hanging out or someone, you know, I'll tell them, hey, can you watch my spot real quick? I'll be back. Take off, restroom, come back, or like get something to eat. Or I always pack stuff, you know, and I'll just eat right there real quick. But still, it kind of takes away. And then a lot of times when I want to record and do stuff, it's at the end of the show, but that's when people are getting ready to leave. Or sometimes some cars are already gone. So I don't really get a chance to really get that. I feel like I miss out on that part. So I'm going to reach out to one of my homies. Hopefully he could help me out and we could do this together. So this way I could take a break and focus on also recording stuff and whatnot, you know? So let's get into this one. So this one is the Model Car Guys in conjunction with NHRA Motorsport Museum presents Spirit of Speed 10 Model Car Show and Swap Meet, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. honoring the Gallery of Speed. Then we have the theme here, the Tri-Fives right here. Check it out right here. We got the Bel Airs, as you can see right there. The 57, it looks like a Del Rey right there too. Man, that's nice. The Nomad right there. These are all sweet models right here if you can get your hands on them. This one's taking place Sunday, November 2nd, 2025. Entry fees for the model show and any NHRA museum is $10. Includes unlimited entries per unlimited entries, and then free parking. NHRA Motorsport Museum, Fairplex Gate 1, 1101 McKinley Avenue, Pomona, California, 91788. All right, so this show here, when you show up to the show, and let's say you're gonna participate, or you're just a spectator, you know, you're there for the swap meet. Parking is free, so they have a huge parking lot. You don't gotta worry about parking. Just pull up to the lot, park, get up into the museum. You pay $10, and now with those $10, you have access to the whole museum, and you have access to the model show. So at the model show, if you are participating for the model show, you already pay the 10 and just bring your models and then just set them down. If you're not, you know, like I said, spectator, or you're gonna go buy, then, you know, you pay the 10 and you come in, you look at the models, you buy stuff from the vendors, and then you could still spend time and walk around and look at the museum. Look at all the car collections, the model car collections, all the things that they have there, you know. And then also they added all proceeds from the show will benefit the NHRA museum. So this is one that they've been hosting every year. You know, this was probably one of my first model car shows that I attended coming back into the hobby. I would say like 2017, 2018, like around that time. So since then, you know, it's already been about 7 years coming up. So yeah, I mean, and I believe it's been going on even way longer than that, you know, from when I went. So yeah, this should be a fun one right here. Let's see. Steve Courtney adds, it's a lot of work vending. Yeah, man, it is, dude. I agree with you right there. It definitely is. Let's see. It's not that I don't want to do it. It's just, man, it's some work. And then, you know, you got model cars and everything right in front of you. You got friends chopping it up over there. They're in a circle laughing, and you're like, oh, what are they laughing? I want to go over there. I want to hear the joke. Nah. Let's see here. So that's it, guys, for the flyers. That was all the events right there. Let me see. Let me take down the image. Let me reach over and grab the Corvair real quick. Let's check it out. The Corvair. See where we left off. So the Corvair is pretty much, it already has one layer of clear on it. It has like the ghost flames on the side. You can't even see them. They're really ghosted. You can see some of the rear ones right here. Oh, there we go, right there. And the front also on the hood. We've already wet sanded a lot of the bodies. It still needs to be clear one last time. But before we do that, I did talk about getting some pinstripe paint in pink. And what I wanted to do was like to shoot a line from here all the way down to the rear because of the transition, to cover that transition, because you're going from flake to pearl and you see the border there, but there's no there's nothing bridging it pretty much, right? And I have to cut out some tape. I'm going to cut tape. Let's see here. I have my trusty ruler. This is my 12-inch ruler right here that I have. Let me back up right there. Normally I would lay down the tape, on here. And then I'd watch, let me see if I get the angle so you guys can kind of see. Probably right there. Eyeballing it really, really small, right? And then I get my hobby knife and cut the tape and then peel it out, right? So the line's has to be smaller than this. This is too thick right there. But I normally use this glass for cutting tape, but being that, when you put it here, it does measure up. I could lay it there and then use this whole ruler and cut it. I could do that, or I have another tempered glass that I could use to cut the tape. So what I want to do is I want to cut like 3 strips of tape. So the first strip of tape is going to be on the borderline all across. And then I want to put the other 2 strips of tape around it. So this way you have 3. And then, so when I put the middle one first, then I put one below it, one above it, and then I remove the middle one. So this way I have like a space. I could visually see where I need to paint it, and then I'll backmask the rest of the bottom, the rest of the top, and then I have to get comfortable and then stripe it back. So basically what I'm doing is I'm basically just pinstriping on training wheels, let's say, right? I know a lot of people can be like free-handed and everything. I could do that, but what's gonna happen is I'm gonna go off, it's gonna be too thick, and then I'm gonna have to go back and wipe it off constantly, and I don't really want to deal with that. That's kind of the final thing I want to do there. I might add it on top as well. I'm still not sure, but if not, it's just gonna be there. And I have different pinstripe brushes, so I still need to play around before I actually do it. I need to see which one's gonna be the best one for that. I don't want to just use any kind of brush. It has to be pinstripe, but there's different types of pinstripe. So I got to see which one's going to be the one. And then once I do that, I'm just doing it so this way I can clear it and continue moving forward and wrap this one up. Later for other builds, then that's when I really want to start doing more like freestyle stuff, where I don't need a guide or anything like that, take off the training wheels per se, but for myself, this is the way I'm going to do it. I know some people freehand print striping and all that, and that's dope. I mean, they know what they're doing, I'm still new to this, I'm still a novice to it. But hopefully I can get there and learn it, in the professional way, but yeah, that's kind of the thing with this build right here. The final step. Tomorrow I am expecting a package from Paint Huffer, and that pinstripe paint is coming in there, the pink that I ordered. So that's going to be coming in right there. So hopefully soon, like I said, I'm going to be busy Saturday and all, and I'm going to see what's up. I'm going to see what day I'm going to have some time to play around with some stuff. And then hopefully it's something that I could just show you guys before I even attempt this, like just to kind of give you guys an idea of if maybe you guys never done it or have been really curious like how it works. I could just kind of tell you guys based off of what I have and what I'm currently doing, and maybe it might spark some interest, and maybe you guys can want to go out there and try it out, and then also this coming Tuesday, I will be interviewing the owner of Coast Airbrush from out here in Anaheim, Southern California, Dave Monning. I am going to be having him. He's going to be being my guest. This first time on the podcast. I'm excited for that. So I'm also preparing for that podcast episode right there. We just finished the podcast episode earlier this week, a couple of days ago with Pancho Barron. If you guys have not checked that out, please check out that interview. He's an amazing custom painter. Does a lot of lowrider paint jobs for 125th scale, but also he's doing a lot of the 110th scale and the RC stuff. So we go down some of the products he's using, also pictures, lots of pictures of the stuff that he's done in works like that. So that is out already. So you guys want to check that out. And, we're going to be getting more and more guests as well in the future. Some guests that were highlighted in the past in magazines, but also we're also going to be getting painters too. Professional painters that paint cars 1-to-1 scale. And at the same time, as we start to progress in the podcast and the podcast becomes a bit more structured, more like in a professional kind of way, I definitely want to start trying to get in like even some big names in the industry, but I have to put in the work though. I can't just reach out to people and see what happens. Hopefully, it happens. No, I got to put in the work, try to structure everything, make sure everything's cool and presentable, that you guys are enjoying it and stuff. And over time, hopefully I have that opportunity to be able to interview some people. But yeah, guys, I'm going to take off. I still got to clean up and do some things here. I'm still kind of moving stuff around. Like I was saying about the angle of the booth. I don't know if you guys got to see it. If you guys just joined here, let me press this button here so you guys check real quick. Bam, right there. We're still kind of like adjusting some things right there. So I'm hoping to have this all lit up and stuff. And obviously this curtain, the green screen will be off, and I will be. Let's just say, watch. Let me see if you guys can still hear me. But it's like if I'm airbrushing. And I'll be like maybe like right here, right? And then this hand like over here. So hopefully I'm able to do something like this. That's kind of the goal. Because I know I talked about it the last time that it was kind of a stressful kind of vibe based off of what I was doing. But I'm hoping that I can do something, even if I don't go live, but I could at least record some stuff right there, But we're going to see what's up. But I'll keep you guys posted. Let's see. Before I go, JC asks, what kind of airbrush do you have? All right, let's see. It's right here. Let me show you, bro. This is the Iwata HPCS airbrush. This is my to-go-to. This one here, I have two of them. This one, I specifically use it for clear coating. This has a 0.5 needle. The other one right here, this one right here, let me release it. This is another HPCS Eclipse. That one has a 0.3 needle. So whenever, like if I'm painting, this is the one I'm using for painting the model. This one is for clearing. If you noticed on the tail, I just wrapped a piece of tape, Tamiya tape right here at the end. This is just for myself to indicate like, yo, like this is the one for color. You don't want to use one airbrush to do everything. You don't want to use, let's say, this airbrush to primer and then the same to drop paint and to clear coat on the same airbrush, because you're always going to have to clean it, and there's always going to be something stuck like inside that's going to get in the airbrush right there. And Yeah, I think these retail maybe for like, I don't know, $200. I want to say. HPCS, this particular model, I highly would recommend. Man, this thing's tight. I don't think it's gonna open. I need my tool. I have tools for this. I was trying to see if I could like unscrew it, but this airbrush is nice, man. You could do a lot. You know, one thing I did modify on this airbrush is the stem right here, where you push down. If you look at this one, it does have these little ridges for grit, and it's wider, more square. And you push down and, you know, pull back right there. But it feels so good, dude. It's pretty good. Oh, compressor. My bad. I have an Iwata compressor. This one is the Power Jet. Let me see. Oh, you know what? Let me use the other camera. Bam. Thanks for asking. Let's test it out. It's going to probably be kind of shaky, but let me see. I'm going to hit the other camera real quick. Hold on. Bam. Behind the scenes. Boom. Right there. There it is. That's the back of it. You see the House of Color sticker right there. Yeah, there you go, bro. So this one has the tank right there. I think it's 10. I don't know. Is it gallons? I forget how they measure it. Here, let me go sideways. Hold on. All right, right there. So it's an Iwata one, bro. I don't think they sell this particular model anymore. I believe they stopped selling this model. They came out with another model that has 2 ports to put your 2 brushes in, like 2 hoses. That compressor is dope. If I had to buy another one, if this one, let's say this one didn't work no more and I had to get another one, I'd get that one for sure. I definitely get that one. That's the one that I'd be like, I gotta get it, you know. Let's see. Damn, this thing's. I need to clean these, bro. They're dirty. Yeah, I could feel it. It feels rough. I need to clean this airbrush. But yeah, there's a lot of cool things you can do with these airbrushes right here. But yeah, man, the compressor. It doesn't have to be the brand, let's say like, and this is for everybody, don't feel bad. Like, oh man, like it takes time sometimes, bro. And things are expensive too, man. I get it. There's things I want and I'm like, man, it's not the time, let me just work with what I have. But no matter the price, you're going to get a compressor, even if it's like a non brand. Damn, this thing is stuck. What the hell? I highly would recommend. Oh, there we go. Woo! Yeah, I thought this thing wasn't gonna come out. You see, I gotta clean this airbrush. I would recommend to all this. There we go. This one's coming off right here. Yeah, I gotta clean this airbrush, dude. This thing's kind of crazy. Make sure it has a tank in there. I know sometimes they add like, and I'm talking about like all the different brands. They advertise like an airbrush. And then, I love California Air Tools. If that was Steve was saying, that's a dope brand. I was gonna say, make sure it just has a tank for air, because a lot of the times you turn on the compressor, and even if it's a smart one, but it's just piston or whatever, every time you're running it, it's just going right, and that air is just going out to the airbrush. And it's almost like it's not going into like a tank, like a reservoir, right? And it sucks because then it creates a lot of noise. It gets warm, it gets hot. It's too much chaos kind of. And it's always good to have an airbrush that has a tank. So this way the little motor, gets it going. It puts the air in the little reservoir. You start airbrushing, and in a minute the reservoir starts to go low. The thing turns back on and it refills it. So you always have consistent air. I'd recommend that. I had a friend who had one. He didn't have the tank. He just had just the pure, compressor, and that thing would just go out on him all the time. It would either get too hot and he'd have to stop. And I don't know. It was just kind of annoying. He later on upgraded. He had to, but yeah, it happens, man. I mean, even if if for those that are watching this, if you have one, I mean, it's all good, you know. But hopefully in the future, make it a mission to like upgrade. But always the tank. But you know, you can never go wrong with the you know, the Iwata ones. California Air Tools is another one that Steve mentioned. I do have a larger compressor for my spray guns. That I do have, and it's also a California Air Tools one that I purchased online. So that one came in and it's pretty cool. But hey guys, I'm gonna take off. This was fun. It was cool talking to you guys right here. I'm gonna head out, and you know, I gotta clean this airbrush and tidy up some things over here on my end, and I'll come back, you know, later in the week. You know, maybe tomorrow I'll do a video regarding the new arrivals, and then I'll do another video later, or maybe I'll go on live, you know, depending how things go with the fam and everything. You know, we'll see what's up from there. But I appreciate you guys watching, tuning in, and showing love, and, you know, always, you know, interacting right here with me on the chat. I always appreciate you guys. I don't feel like I'm alone right here, you know? Like, this is pretty cool, man. This is pretty cool. I like it. Freddie Soto, what up, man? I'm going to take off. You have a good night, man. JC, peace. Steve Courtney, Slowly Models, Scott. We also have Stoke Steve, Jerome, and let's see who else. Pink Maverick, I know he took off earlier. Armando Flores, and Styrene Live 505. I hope I'm not missing anybody, but yeah, I believe that's everybody right there that was in the chat. But for those of you that probably weren't in the chat but were watching, man, shout outs to you guys. You guys have a good night. All right, peace out. Let me see if I could switch this little thing in here. All right, bam. All right, guys, peace out. Later. Thank you, bro. Will do.